Alright, so continuing my series on Archetype, today we'll cover N Arven. So as you can see, I have an N deck here I built to review, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, we are going through the N supporters. So this recently came out with the release of White Bolt and Black Flare. This is N's plan. Supporter move 2 energies. Notice didn't say basic energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active, and we'll get into why that's really a game changer a bit later. Next, we have Castle. N's Pokemon in play have no retreat, both you and your opponent, so you can get those free swaps in and Stadium Defend. Finally, N's PP up. Yes, N's PP up. Thing to get N hard. N's Viagra. N's Cialis. He a little old, so you might need a little pick me up. And this attaches a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench N's Pokemon. So again, thing to make N hard. Alright, now let's get into the Pokemon. So let's filter by N's. There we go. So now let's get down to the N's Pokemon. So again, just like with the other archetypes, not all the N's Pokemon see play in the deck. So let's start from the last and go up. Main Pokemon in N's deck is N's Zoroark EX with Trade. So Trade is an effect that was on a previous Zoroark. It allows you to discard a card and then draw 2 cards. Once per turn, pretty simple. But Night Joker is a bit different. So for 2 dark energy, choose one of your bench N's Pokemon and use that attack. So this allows you to skip the energy restriction on a lot of the N's Pokemon attack, and is a key piece. So because we have N's plan, we are allowed to move 2 energy from a bench Pokemon to him. So that pairs very nicely with another one of N's Pokemon here. That'll be N's Darmanitan with that Flame Body Cannon ability. Discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, and this attack also does 90 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So effectively, you can discard 2 dark energy and then use N's PP up and N's plan to move back 2 dark energy from a bench Pokemon back up to the active and do this twice. This Pokemon also has a first attack called Backdraft, which counters Sigilyph. This attack does 30 damage for each basic energy card in your opponent's discard pile. So jam, pretty good. I didn't cover their first form because their first forms aren't very good. So N's Darumaka, pretty plain, and we have N's Zoroark. So this is the special art. A boy likes fancy things. This is the regular one here. So yeah, pretty plain. I will still show these special arts of this that are available. There's a gold, there's a SIR, and a full art. Next, let's get into some Pokemon that also aren't really in the deck and don't really see play. We have N's Joltik. Before applying damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. If you discard a Pokemon tool this way, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. Not very good, doesn't have evolution, 2 energy and 30 damage. Really not good. Then we have, I'll go to Purrloin next. The opponent reviews their hand, you choose a card, you find them, put it at the bottom of their deck. Again, not the worst, but low damage and on a body that doesn't have a way to go up. So then we have the Klink line. We have Klink, flip 2 coins, 10 damage for each, maximum 30 damage. Clank, your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused, 20 damage, 40. And we have N's Klink, 50 damage, 120, flip 3 coins, this attack does 120 more for each head. So very high ceiling, but as a stage 2, not very good. Not very good at. So this doesn't see play. The deck mainly functions with this guy here. So let's get into these 2 big books. First, we have N's Reshiram. This first attack, he's a dragon, so mixed energy attacks. Fire Electric, Powerful Rage, this does 20 damage for each damage counter on it, and Virtuous Flame, which is 170 for 4 energy. Again, that's really tough to get across, but remember, our N Zoroark actually skips the cost. So for 2 dark energy, we get access to both attacks. So first we hit 170, and N Zoroark is a big boy with a 280, meaning if he takes a hit from Dragapult, the Powerful Rage actually does double damage back at them, so does 400 damage in revenge. Meaning if you don't one-shot it, he's going to one-shot you back. Pretty strong attack. And a really funny finisher, we have Sigilyph. First attack, trash, we don't care about that. Second attack, victory symbol. If you use this attack and you have exactly 1 prize, you win the game. So if you're in an unwinnable situation, you will be able to simply just go, hey, look at this, I have 1 prize. This attack, I win the game. So you usually run a 1-off in your deck, as you can see here. And I have a deck I'm going to use set up here already, so you can get a quick test game. So I'll just run my build. This is an alteration of the standard one you get on TCG Live. Running 2x2 of the Darmanitan and Darumaka, 2 of the Reshiram, 4 lines of this, 1 Sigilyph, 1 Petrarant, and and 1 pheasant. Yes, you have enough draw with this, but I'd much rather more cards you draw the better. We're doing 8 dark energy and supporters and items here. So 3 body puffins, 1 balloon as head case, power glass to try and bring back the dark energy if you use Darmanitan's attack. We're running 3 of Janine's Secret Art. This brings dark energy from deck to our active or any dark Pokemon really. 4 NSPP ups, 1 evolution ray, 1 pair stamp is my thing of choice, 3 Ionos to get as much cards as possible, 4 Arvens because we're trying to see what we want to see. I realized I didn't put any bosses in this deck, but we don't need boss. We are the boss. 2 of this energy sticker, I love this card, which will work as a pseudo NSPP up, 2 Earth and Sea Vessels, 2 Ultra Balls for those discard outlet, and that should be all we need. So I'm running the ends plan here instead of the boss because I want to just have it in deck. So don't choke me too hard. Alright, and that should be the end plan. Tune into the gameplay. I'll leave a timestamp in the comment. Alright, so now let's get into the actual game plan with the deck. So because the main attacker in this deck is the Zoroark, what our plan is simply to try to get Zoroark online as fast as possible along with a Reshiram on the bench. We're trying to get those knockouts as quick as possible and try to get them onto 1 prize and Sigilyph for the win. If we can't just outright, or if we're in a position to actually knock out all the active Pokemon, we'll do so using this Darmanitan's attack, and our backup is the Purrloin. So hopefully if they do knock out a couple of these and maybe a Darmanitan or so, we get the 300 hit of the Purrloin and we never attack him with this. This is just here for the free retreat. So yeah. We have 2 Ends Castles as well. They will be our free retreat option. But lots of stadium defense in the format. So that'll be it. Again, timestamp for the gameplay of this deck will be in the comments. Now let's get on to Arven. So we'll start with Arven. There's only 1 supporter for Arven besides the actual Arven Sandwich. So let's get into that now. Here we go. So we got Arven Sandwich. Heal 30 damage from your active Pokemon. If that Pokemon is an Arven Pokemon, he'll 100 damage from it instead. Seems pretty strong, but there's a reason you don't see the Archetype actually playing out because there aren't that many Pokemon, so it doesn't have that big a support. So there we go. So total we have only 2, 4, 6 Arven Pokemon, and out of the bat many of them aren't that. First we have Slight Intrusion, not a good attack. Again, doesn't have anything that could output in terms of damage, so this can't exactly knock out things in the game. The top 4 decks, Dragapult, Gardevoir, it slips me, Raging Bolt and Mani, they will massacre these decks because again this can knock out any of their big hitters and they falter breeze. Then we have the Skwovet, before damage, move our Pokemon tools. Again, I don't know why they have this Archetype and this type of attack here on almost all the Archetypes, but must have something coming, I guess. We have his Greedent. Alright, Greedy Order. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search for up to 2 Arven Sandwiches from your discard pile and put them into your hand. Again, that's pretty useful. That's a 200 damage heal. But again, you have no way to search the sandwich other than Arven. So, you're kind of wasting the Arven in terms of searching for a single sandwich. And possibly 1 tool, which isn't the best. And again, that's almost all the Pokemon here. The only usable Pokemon in terms of attack would be the Mascheif and Mascheif. Mascheif, it's a basic, not that good, 78 points, searchable body, but isn't the most powerful card. And his Mastiff though is pretty good. This Pokemon has no damage counters on it. This attack does 120, meaning it's a 1 energy attack that hit for 150. At 270 it's pretty bulky. That's a decent attack. Pretty decent. And the sandwiches will actually keep his hit points up to keep us going, but again, it doesn't have any consistency. Second attack, during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Boss Headbutt. Again, 210, that's not a small attack by any means, but you have to get the 3 energy. The support doesn't really help that situation. So you don't really see Arven's decks because again, all the Pokemon aren't very useful except for the Mastiff, and the only way you could use the Mastiff effectively is like a bunch of heal, and yeah, they are much better attackers for the value. So as I would put it, you get more juice for the same squeeze with a lot more other decks. So there's that. So now, moment of truth, we're going to see if we can get at least a game or 2 in with the ends review. So this is my build, but before that I think I would just actually use the standard build they give, and then I'll run 1 game with my deck. So let's get into it. Alright, let's go. Forgive my voice, I'm a bit raspy, But let's get into this final bit of gameplay here. I try and keep the video pretty short, so we'll only be doing a single gameplay video today. And you can stay tuned if you're interested. Let me know. I could do a few more games and a few more edits. Again, this is roughly the standard deck that you get on PTCG Live, so forgive me if it's not all the best or everything else. I just added some shiny stuff to it. There we go. Alright, so he's playing a pretty interesting deck. Let's see what he's got. As usual, taking forever to just play that first Pokemon. That's what we got there. Not bad, not bad. I think we should be able to actually get some stuff up immediately. So let's see where we're going. Oh, beautiful. That's actually very helpful. Alright, so I've seen already. Trying to get that Wellspring Mass to hit front and back. Again, clearly backshot at his favorite position. Can I believe in the Arven play? Let's see what they get. Let's see if we can see as much cards as possible. We just need one energy. There we go. Pretty good. Again, that only does the most like efficient play, but I like it. It was fun. It worked out. We're keeping that nest ball and those two ultra balls, so we can search for whatever we need later on in the game. We go right up with our 2 Zoroark EXs, so we can do a little trading and we should be fine. Each card traded, I could use those 2 to discard to bring something I want. So we can try and get into Zoroark and such things. But keeping an eye on what exactly he's playing, so we'll see how things go. I forgot about that Sorrow ability. That'll keep me from retreating. Right. Give me a second one in the event. Alright, we can look for Darmanitan. So we get nice. Ooh, I don't know why I did that. I should have discarded the Ultra Ball. Again. Nice. I guess oh, sorry about that. A little fluster there. All's well that ends well. You're playing N after all. An extra damage because he's 170 with my Zoroark, so we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves. You also give him the opportunity to knock out an attractive Pokemon there in the form of our 2 Darmanitan, and we can move forward and deal with him there. Nice, because again we got locked in there for a while. Now we have opportunity to move forward. Nice. Ready. Not for anything else. We have 3 set up. Beautiful.
Let's get rid of this so he doesn't have that free energy access. And nice, the second PP up means we have access to the second one. And we have our other one in hand, our other Reshiram. So there's nothing for him to really do. If he does practical damage to either of our bench Pokemon, that means our Revenge will basically knock out everything in his deck. There's nothing in his deck that should be above 240 in water. I don't think he's playing the Wailord, so we can just get a pretty clean knockout here. There we go, that should be Fridge Backs into Bax Caliber. Yep. Baxy boy. Force swap, but that doesn't really do much. I guess he just realized he locked himself out of the game, but pretty short game there. Hope you all enjoyed.